affected. So we're listening to Parish President Cynthia Sheng.
Whether we call this a tornado or straight line winds, it's the experts will determine it. But thank God with this destruction, there was another building in Metairie that I was just at where the whole side of the building was torn off. We have not had major injury or loss of life is what I'm told. So we're very, very, very fortunate for that in this parish.
A devastating scene here in Avondale.
Yes.
Several families have now lost their homes. What was your first reaction to seeing all this?
Well, this is heartbreaking to see. And, speaking to the homeowner's sister, where she explained that she got the call from her sister, I'm sure it was a very frightening situation. But when you see the destruction of this house, she's just lucky that she was happy, where she was in the house. It's almost like almost a random thing. They tell you to go to an interior room of the house, but this whole other side was just kind of taken away. I think next door was a trailer, and I think the trailer got blown into this house. So clearly she was very fortunate to get out if it's just minor injuries. And the chief can give us more information about what his experience was this morning.
Yes,
Chief
ma'am.
Stephen Gidros.
Yes, ma'am. So about 5:42, the Herbert Wallace Fire Department was dispatched to a rescue of a person that was trapped in one of the houses over here. They arrived on scene at 5:44, and this is the damage that they found. So they immediately began a rescue in the house that's right here, where they were able to rescue one lady. She was transported from EMS to a local hospital. There was also a second gentleman that was possibly involved with this second trailer. He was transported to the hospital as well. During that same time, they began assessing the scene at 512 George Street. They had an active gas leak going on. So fire department evacuated that area for the precautionaries till we had the gas secured. That has since been taken care of, and we let them occupy those houses again. Other than that, we do have some damage on both of the streets in both of the areas. Fire department crews are going around. They're doing damage assessments right now. We're working with our partners with Energy and Atmos to make sure the scene is safe. That's kind of where we're at with everything right now.
Chief, what other things are you guys as first responders doing right now across the parish?
So I can only talk about what we're doing here on this scene. So what we're doing right now is we got our crews going out and they're doing damage assessments. So they're actually logging all the different properties, taking pictures of what's going on that. We're making damage assessments for our trees so we get the roadways back open, and we're working with Energy and Atmos to make sure that utilities are secure so we get people back home when we can. We're also working with our sheltering partners to make sure anybody that might need help can get the help for the next couple days.
Chief, how long do you think it'll take to be able to get this area?
So we don't really have a good time frame on that right now. We're waiting on Energy. Our biggest thing is to make this scene safe right now. Y'all can see the devastation that we got, but with the power lines and different things like that, we want to make sure it's safe before we let any residents reoccupy this area. So we're really waiting on Atmos and Energy and those partners to help us out with that.
President Sheng, we've been talking so much about hurricane preparedness. This is a whole different situation, though. Can you kind of talk about how this is a different storm we're weathering?
Well, every storm is different, right? And it has different hazards. And we knew going into this one that it was going to be more of a rain event. Obviously, that means it's a flooding event. And that was what our concentration is. And the whole time they were saying, do not, tornadoes could be part of this. And we were hoping that wasn't. Whether this was a tornado or not, I won't say. But that warning was always given to us that this could flare up on us, and we can see whether it's high, straight line winds or tornado. This was a very dangerous situation. So across the parish, we're dealing with flooding, risk of cars going into canals, stalled cars, and of course these events, major electrical outages. I think the last time I checked, it was like about 18,000 more on the East Bank. But if we can get through today with everyone safe, I think we say that we're very blessed on this.
We've seen all the flooded streets in Kenner, the problems out there. It's a mess for a lot of drivers trying to move around. By all accounts, all drainage systems ago. They worked in the parish. How are we feeling?
I started early this morning. I was on the phone with my drainage director along with our meteorologist, and it was really a time game. It was, how much more storage capacity do we have and how versus how much longer it was going to rain. And it was a nail biter, honestly. But the rain stopped when it needed to stop. And I think there are some individual houses that may have taken on, unconfirmed, may have taken on a little bit of, when I say maybe 5 or 6 is what I'm getting word of, and that hasn't been confirmed yet, but certainly no widespread major internal structural flooding like we saw in Francine. So we're very, very fortunate on that front.
Do you have any data right now on inch counts, especially in the Kenner area? All right, you're watching live. Jefferson Parish President Cynthia Sheng briefing reporters there in Avondale. Also, a fire official there walking us through. Now we've got a better idea of what happened there, courtesy of this live shot, Mike McDaniel's live shot from the ground, speaking to a relative of the lady who was trapped in that trailer home. We do now have more specifics about it, confirming that it happened at around 5:45 this morning. That authorities got out to that trailer park in Avondale, or at least that area where the trailer was, and there was reports of that lady trapped inside. They were able to get her to the hospital, but then there was a second man, possibly in that second trailer that the parish president said possibly got thrown into the other building there. There was a man there that is doing okay. That's some good news. Also word of a gas leak around the corner on George Street. That's since been cleared, and so those homes are now safe again, and they're doing damage assessments there in the Avondale area, where you can see that there was some significant damage after a tornado touched ground.